Tonight on Prime Business, Development Bank Ghana begins official operations tomorrow as a vehicle to de-risk funding to small and medium-scale enterprises.
We are humbled by the support we have received so far and indeed continue to receive from these institutions and the government of Ghana. A commitment to make an impact by doing it differently and doing it properly.
There's more as the new bank receives in excess of $700 million from partners. All these and more coming shortly. Do stay with us. I'm Charles Ayitey. Tonight, the much-awaited Development Bank Ghana is expected to begin full-scale operations from tomorrow, the 14th of June, after a short official launch today. The new bank will play the role of reducing high risk of lending to the small and medium enterprises in Ghana. Speaking to some selected journalists at a pre-launch brief, the chief executive of the bank, Kwame Duka, assured the bank won't shift focus from its core mandate.
Development Bank of Ghana is a development finance institution unlike a universal bank, with the purpose of partnering with the commercial banks to provide support for key sectors of the economy. Addressing some selected journalists ahead of the launch, Chief Executive Kwame Duka hinted that the bank received funds in excess of $700 million from its shareholders and ready to drive the growth of small and medium enterprises in the country.
The result, DBG today has a capital structure of nearly $800 million. To date, this funding has given us funds in excess of $700 million for on-lending through our PFIs to our SMEs. And in terms of our equity structure, we have about $200 and $250 million, roughly about 1.2 billion cedis in capital. We are humbled by the support we have received so far and indeed continue to receive from these institutions and the government of Ghana. A commitment to make an impact by doing it differently and doing it properly.
The bank is not only interested in providing funds for the SME sector, but supporting commercial banks with capacity building to be able to understand the mandate. Here's Deputy Chief Executive Michael Mensah-Ba.
However, it's important to realize that our risk is to the commercial bank, and what we'll be doing is to support the commercial bank from a capacity building perspective. One of the other things that we've realized is that the SMEs themselves require support. So the other side of the story is, how do we ensure that the SMEs themselves are using the money for the purpose for which it was given to them, and also ensuring that they are able to pay back. And in that respect, what we'll be doing is providing capacity building for the SMEs as well.
There are 4 local banks that have already formed partnerships with the Development Bank to support government initiatives.
Now, investors are being assured of an inclusive business environment which prioritizes their interests and concerns. As inflation and the cost of doing business choke Ghana's investor attraction, the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, GIPC, believes that the country's records as the leading FDI recipient in the SAP region is assuring enough of the country's quest of being a destination for investors. There is more in this report. The urgency for government to tackle Ghana's brewing economic crisis topped opening statement at the Financial Economic Seminar.
I think it's just a matter of we understanding our system, modifying models and formulas, policies that are tailor-made to suit our system.
But even as investors get a chokehold by rising inflation and high production costs, the GIPC says help is on the way.
The desire is to tilt the balance so that despite inevitable and exogenous shocks and policy shifts, the private sector should thrive and survive despite government action.
Talking Solutions, Dr. Stephen Adai proposed an alignment of government micro and macro policies to ensure inclusive growth.
I don't think that the Bank of Ghana should continue to raise interest rate, because if it does, it will hurt the real economy far more than achieving inflation, lower inflation or inflation targeting as the IMF is demanding of structurally constrained economies.
The seminar was heavily attended by captains of industry, investors and the consuming public. It was themed identifying and redefining the economic fundamentals of developing countries, anomalies and challenges, the case of Ghana. Now, the Association of Bread Bakers in the Ashanti region are calling on governments to reduce the taxation on baking ingredients, especially wheat flour. According to them, this will help reduce the cost of bread across the country. The association says prices of bread will continue to shoot up if the situation is not resolved. Love FM's Abdul Latif Awal spoke to some bakery owners in Kumasi and has come through with this report.
Currently, about 75% of wheat flour is used to make bread, while the remaining 25% is used for cakes and other pastries. Prices of wheat flour have been revised upward for 3 consecutive times since the start of the year, once before Russia invaded Ukraine and twice after. Chairperson of the association wants the government to reduce taxes on baking ingredients. Teresa Boachi-Bedu is leader of bread bakers in Ashanti region.
We have some of the ladies who come to collect the bread, and then they also give it to the final seller. So, for example, if I make the bread and I give it to them, 8 cedis, she also come and take it and give it to the final seller at 8 cedis, 70 pesos, and then the final seller will also sell at 10 cedis. It is going up, but there's nothing they can also do. That is why we are also suggesting that since the dollar is going up, and we can't do anything about dollar going up, if they can just reduce the price of the taxation, the government can reduce it so that currently, so we can also buy until the time that things will stabilize, because we all know that if we pay the tax, it's then that they can also work on the country.
Some bakery owners are also feeling the heat of the price increase in baking ingredients.
Every month there is an increment, which is not helping us. It's reducing our capital. A flour which was buying at 245,000 beginning of this year is now selling at 445,000, which is almost times 2. The government can reduce, to consider their tax for them, either to reduce it a bit for them so that they can also reduce the price for us a bit.
Abdul Latif Awal's report read to you.
Be it for the bulletin, but we'll leave you with international business news, after which we have sports with Oreko Ampofo. To stay with your news.